guys, I'm Steve. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our channels, Facebook, YouTube, everything. We got all kinds of great content, and I have some personal stuff coming for you right now. I want to talk about this. This is Invincible number 144, the very last issue of Invincible. Now, I've been collecting this comic for a long time, and it's basically about the story of Mark Grayson, Invincible. He's the son of the greatest superhero in the world. He gets powers, and you follow him through his life, through all of his adventures, as he grows. Basically, that's the great thing about the comic. He starts out when he's 17, it ends sometime down the line, but he ages more or less in real time, which is a lot of fun. The comic's written by Robert Kirkman, who's obviously known for The Walking Dead, and it's just been a really bittersweet comic book. Now, I want to share with you why I've loved this comic book and why the end is wonderful and sad at the same time. Basically, for me, it's been the Saturday morning cartoon of my adulthood. Now, in Saturday morning cartoons, you watch it as a kid and it was always exciting and wonderful. Well, that's what this comic was. It has this wonderful mixture of cartoony action with incredible violence and just these hilarious moments that turn it into the Saturday morning cartoon for adults. The first time I ever picked up an Invincible comic was issue number 75. Found it in a discount bin, and I'd heard about Invincible for years. The artist, Ryan Ottley, is actually from here in Utah, and so I'd always kind of had an interest, it always got good reviews. I decided to pick it up. About halfway through the issue, it shows a guy getting his head ripped off. Now, you'd think that that would be just, like, disturbing, but in fact, it was hilarious. Just the way that it was done, I laughed out loud, and I knew from that moment on that I was hooked, and that I was going to collect Invincible forever. And that's exactly what I did. I went back to the comic book store the next day, bought every issue that they had, and started collecting from that moment on. Well, now, with the end, I just gotta say, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, but it was a wonderful way to end the comic. A comic book that had unexpected deaths and heartwarming moments that almost brought a tear to your eye at the same time that, the next page would have some blood spattered something. It's sad, but happy at the same time that Invincible is coming to an end. Because most comic books, they go on forever. And they kind of repeat themselves over and over and over again. Spider-Man has fought Dr. Octopus 1,000 times. Superman and Lex Luthor have butt heads over 60, 70 years. And it always kind of recycles itself. But with Invincible, Robert Kirkman decided, no, I'm going to go out on my terms. When the story is done, the story is done. And that's it. And that's what we have here. Another great thing is that Invincible has been drawn by only two people, Cory Walker and Ryan Ottley. They both contribute to this final issue. It's only been ever written by Robert Kirkman. And the fact that they've ended it on their terms is something that's very rare and very beautiful in a way. I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, they have these giant compendiums. Pick them up. You can read it from start to finish. The compendium, basically it will end with a third compendium that has almost 70 comic books in it. And it will come out in July. Go to your local comic store, pick those up, and I guarantee it's worth the money. Within a couple of issues, you will be hooked like I was. And once you get here, you'll be sad and happy, just like I am. So, those are my thoughts on Invincible 144 and the legacy of Invincible. They're going to be coming out with a movie, more action figures, all that kind of stuff, so the character won't die. But for now, this is the end. I'm Steve. We are Geek.